Hey everyone, it's Amy Johnston and welcome back to another episode of Martial Arts History. In this series, I take different styles of martial arts and I go in depth into the history of them. And like I've said before, if there's something that I missed that you think is cool, please do add it in the comments. These are just things that I want to share with you that I've learned throughout the years or that I just think are worth sharing. The martial art for today is Muay Thai. So the first thing I want to share with you is a story actually that my dad told me several times and has just stuck with me in regards to Muay Thai. So my dad was a 5-time world kickboxing champion, and he told me that the first time that he fought in Thailand, he was going against the Thai champ there, and obviously he was the underdog. He was an American in Thailand, and he was warming up and getting ready for his fight in his locker room, and he said that the ground started shaking. I don't know if he's exaggerating because he was quite the storyteller, but he said the ground started shaking and he heard boom, 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 and he was like, what is that? What is that? You know, and nobody really knew what was going on. And so he looked over, like walked around the corner into another area, and he saw his opponent, the Thai challenger, the world champion Thai boxer, kicking with his shins against a pole, a cement pole, and it was shaking the cement pole like boom, boom, and there was like dust coming down, and that was before my dad fought him. My dad actually won that fight, but that I'll never forget that story, and it just reminds me of like the hard work that goes into Muay Thai and Thai boxing, the dedication, and those armored legs, man, ridiculous. So anyways, I wanted to share that story with you because every time I think of Muay Thai, I think of my dad telling me that story. Like, what does that do to your mindset before you get into the fight? Like, I would be running. Anyways, let's get started into more educational things on Muay Thai. So Muay Thai actually means Thai boxing, and it's often referred to as the art of 8 limbs or the science of 8 limbs, and that's because there are not 4 points of contact, there are 8 points of contact. So, you know, in boxing, there are 2 points of contact, your left and your right. Kickboxing, there's 4, your left punch, right punch, left kick, round kick. Well, there are 8 in Muay Thai. So punch, punch, kick, kick, and then there's elbow, elbow, knee, knee. So 8 points of contact in Muay Thai. What comes to my mind often when thinking about Muay Thai fighters is the dance that they do before they fight. And there's actually a name for that. It's called the Muay Crew or the Ram Muay. So there's 2 different names for it. It's a traditional dance that signifies respect to their teachers, and also for some it's just a nice time to kind of show off some of their movements. And some fighters are more religious, giving thanks to whoever they believe in or what they believe in, but ultimately it's a tradition to express gratitude and give thanks. So the headpiece the Muay Thai fighters usually wear is called a munkle, and the armband is called a prajan. So the headband and armband are usually given to the fighter after they've been blessed by Buddhist monks, and the point of this is to give victory and protection to the fighter. So Muay Thai is a sport that includes stand-up striking alongside clinching techniques. The sport makes use of one's full body, including one's fists, elbows, knees, and shins. Those who practice the art of Muay Thai have usually started from the age of 6 years old and have taken their first fight by 8 years old. As this sport is very harsh on those who practice it, the fighters are known to have super tough bodies and are able to tolerate pain a little more because they've worked really hard on building up that tolerance. The popularity of Muay Thai has really risen and has recently been accepted as an Olympic sport. The origins of Muay Thai are debated over, as most of Muay Thai's history was lost when Burmese took over Siam, which is now Thailand. Muay Thai was taught to soldiers. If they lost their weapon on the battlefield, they were then actually able to use their whole body as a weapon. Since there was a constant threat of battle, many training centers began to open throughout the kingdom to assist men in being able to defend themselves. Apart from its popularity amongst the common people, It even became required for royalty to practice Muay Thai. It was believed that Muay Thai would help them become better leaders. King Narswan was a Muay Thai legend and would eventually help free Thailand from the Burmese. One of the most famous Thai fighters is named Somart Payakarun, who some also call the Muhammad Ali of Muay Thai. His achievements include a boxing record of 21-2, he has 4 Lumpini belts, and also he is a WBC Super Bantamweight champion. Another fighter by the name of Diasalnoy Chor Thanasakarn used his weight as an advantage and was often able to execute a very effective knee strike, which helped him to become an undefeated Lumpini Stadium champion. Saenchai's techniques as an agile and smart fighter earned him a right to be mentioned alongside the best fighters as well. Despite his short stature, his brilliance is displayed during his fights, and at 33 years of age, shows no signs of slowing down. Tang Chai Torsalache, Kyansak Sor Planchet, and Nankabuan Nongki Payayuth are some of the other champions to have mastered Muay Thai techniques. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing these names right, they're really difficult to pronounce. One of the most well-known trainers of the sport is Yadtong Sananam, who has trained 7 Muay Thai champions. He actually owns a camp in Thailand where he trains a lot of UFC and K1 professionals. Muay Thai has had its influence in film, television, anime, manga, video games. So Dual Fist comes to mind as a reference to Muay Thai. It's a Shaw Brothers film that was made in the 70s. Also, the Ong Bak films, those are really popular. Tony Jaa really brought Muay Thai to a big audience, and I think from there it just became more and more popular. And then there's other films like Muay Thai Chaya and A Prayer Before Dawn and several others. It's often that there's a Muay Thai character in a video game or a movie, like even in one of my films, Lady Blood Fight. In the Kumite, we had a Muay Thai fighter. Her name is Sunny, and she actually is a Muay Thai fighter, so that was really cool. And then of course there's Muay Thai in Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. It's all over the place. A lot of MMA legends consider Muay Thai to be a very effective and crucial fighting method. Muay Thai includes the use of fists, elbows, knees, feet, and even shins to have a diverse number of moves under one's belt. Roundhouse kicks, low kicks, they're all very effective. The elbow is such a strong tool when used properly. The clinch is a super important technique because it helps restrict the opponent so that you can have more control in the fight, obviously. Mastering the techniques can really also help an individual's health and fitness, as the sport burns a lot of calories. Honestly, training Muay Thai is one of my favorite exercises ever because it is so empowering. If you've never tried Muay Thai, I would highly suggest taking a class, even if it's just like a fitness Muay Thai class. Go hit some pads, release some of that stress from your busy day. Muay Thai is super effective from a fighting perspective, and it's also really great to know a little bit of self-defense. Hopefully you never need to use it, but you know, if you do, Muay Thai teaches you to use all of your limbs. You're using your whole body as a weapon, and I think it's extremely effective. So I really recommend you try Muay Thai out. It's important to note that Muay Thai, like so many other martial arts styles, test an individual in so many different ways that can only strengthen the character and spirit of oneself, which contributes positively in being able to face every obstacle that comes your way. Alright everyone, that's it for the Muay Thai episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave your comments down below letting me know how you liked the video and also anything you wanted to add, like I said before. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now, and if you have subscribed, go ahead and hit that notification bell. And if you haven't subscribed to my email list, go ahead and do that now. I'll leave a link down below for you, and by being a part of the email list, you will receive a lot of cool VIP treatment and early access to things. For example, I just gave 25 free pages of my new book, How to Stunt in Hollywood, to all my email subscribers, and I actually gave that to them a week before the book was even released. So if you want to stay updated on everything and get some VIP content and early access, go ahead and subscribe to my email list. Like I said, there's a link down below for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.